The problem is simple yet devastating. Most of you live under lies. Lies that people are good. Lies that leaders should always be just. Lies that power is won by kindness. But today, we tear away those masks. Together, we will confront 12 disturbing truths. Truths your teachers, your priests, and even your rulers would prefer you never learn. Because once you know them, you will never see humanity the same way again. Imagine a world where the truths of men are not dressed in virtue, but stripped bare, revealing what truly governs their actions. I, Niccolò Machiavelli, invite you into this realm, a place where illusions of morality collapse, and only power and survival remain. If you wish to see clearly, if you wish to command rather than obey, then listen closely. You believe people are kind. You believe they are loyal, generous, and guided by good intentions. You think that when you do good, good will return to you. How innocent. How dangerously naive. Human nature, my friend, is not a golden light. It is a shadow stretching long beneath every act of virtue. I have seen men swear loyalty and betray their masters before the ink on their vows had dried. I have seen friends turn enemies for the taste of gold, and servants who kissed a ruler's hand while sharpening the knife meant for his throat. Do not mistake manners for morality. Politeness is simply the weapon of those who have not yet found a sharper one. People are loyal only while it serves their interest. Their faith, their friendship, their love. Each has a price, though they will never name it aloud. When the wind of fortune shifts, when profit or danger whispers in their ear, they will turn their faces to it as naturally as the flower turns to the sun. That, my friend, is not wickedness. It is survival. And survival always outweighs sentiment. You think the crowd cheers because they love you. No, they cheer because they love what you give them. Bread, money, spectacle, safety, hope. Whatever your power provides. But once that power wanes, once you falter or fail, their love dies faster than the echo of applause. The same hands that once lifted you will drag you down, and they will swear they never knew you. In the theater of human behavior, virtue is costume. Everyone wears it because they fear being seen without it, but strip it away, and beneath the silks and smiles lies the same impulse, self-interest. The merchant pretends to serve the people, but he serves only his profit. The priest preaches salvation, but he hungers for obedience. The lover whispers of devotion, but seeks only possession. The world runs not on goodness, but on need. Do you imagine that people value truth? They value comfort. Tell them what soothes their fears, and they will call you wise. Tell them what offends their illusions, and they will call you cruel. Humanity would rather live in a beautiful lie than face an inconvenient truth. That is why rulers who speak too plainly are hated, and liars who flatter the masses are adored. When I wrote The Prince, I did not write to please the gentle-hearted. I wrote for those who see through the veil, those who understand that men are, by nature, ungrateful, deceitful, and greedy, and that expecting otherwise is the surest path to ruin. The ruler who builds his empire upon the trust of men builds upon sand. The one who builds upon fear and understanding of their true nature builds upon stone. Consider this: even the most righteous man will betray his values when the fire grows close enough. Hunger, ambition, jealousy, love, all these forces turn saints into sinners. You think people are constant, but they are rivers. They change their course with every storm. They promise eternal loyalty in calm waters, but the first sign of chaos, and they abandon the ship. And you, if you are wise, will not hate them for it. You will expect it. Do not be fooled by public virtue. The moral codes of society are not born from goodness. They are inventions of the powerful to keep the weak in line. They say, be humble to the ambitious so that ambition does not threaten them. They say, forgive to the wronged so that vengeance does not disturb their peace. They say, be kind so that cruelty remains their privilege alone. Every moral commandment is a tool, crafted by those who understand the darkness of men, not by those who deny it. And yet, this darkness is not entirely evil. It is predictable. It is useful. A wise leader does not seek to change human nature. He learns to control it. He knows that fear motivates more than love, That gain persuades more than gratitude. He does not waste time appealing to conscience. Because conscience is fickle, he appeals to desire, to greed, to fear. These never fail him. He rewards obedience, not because it is good, but because it is useful. To master men, one must first understand what moves them. And what moves them is not nobility, it is necessity. A starving man will steal, a jealous man will betray, a frightened man will obey. If you can command these instincts, you can command the world. If you rely on their goodwill, you will lose everything. Remember this, the same man who kneels before you in loyalty would steal your throne. If given the chance, the same friend who defends you in public may curse your name in private. The same people who worship you today will burn your statue tomorrow. But if you understand their nature, not as it should be, but as it is, you can stand above them. Not as their savior, but as their master. Human nature is not evil because it seeks gain. It is merely honest about what it wants. Only the fools disguise their hunger with virtue. The wise admit it and use it as fuel. If you wish to rule, if you wish to survive, abandon the illusion that men are good. They are not. They are wolves clothed as lambs, and only those who see the wolf beneath the wool can lead the flock. Because in the end, the darkness of human nature is not your enemy. It is your map, and only those who dare to read it can find their way through the chaos of power and deceit that defines this world. Love is fragile, it glimmers beautifully in times of peace, but under the weight of fear, hunger, or ambition, it shatters like thin glass. Fear, however, does not break, fear endures. It binds the hearts of men more tightly than affection ever could. Those who rule through love may be adored for a season, but those who rule through fear are obeyed for a lifetime. Let me tell you something that the kind and the idealists will never admit. Love depends on the goodness of others, and goodness is unreliable. Fear depends on you, and you alone. When you build power upon the affection of the crowd, you build upon air. Their emotions shift like the wind, soft today, storm tomorrow. They love you when you serve their desires, but the moment you refuse them, their love turns to resentment. Fear does not waver with mood. It is constant, predictable, and loyal. A ruler who relies on love must live to please, constantly feeding the appetite of his people. But appetites grow. Today they ask for comfort, tomorrow for luxury, the next day for your throne. The more you give, the weaker you become. Love demands gifts, fear demands only respect. It is far easier, far wiser, to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both. Now, do not mistake fear for cruelty. Cruelty is chaos. It breeds hatred. Fear, when measured and deliberate, breeds order. The wise ruler does not inflict terror for pleasure, he uses it as a tool. A calculated act of severity at the right moment prevents 1,000 acts of rebellion later. The fool is merciful when he should be firm, and then surprised when mercy invites contempt. Mercy given too freely becomes permission to defy. Fear, used properly, becomes protection against chaos. You must understand, people will always choose their own safety over their affection for you. When danger rises, when their families are threatened, when their gold trembles in their grasp, they will abandon love without hesitation. They will serve whoever makes them feel secure, even if that security is born of dread. The fear of punishment, the certainty of consequence, these are foundations far stronger than the fleeting warmth of admiration. In politics, in business, in war, every leader faces this choice to be loved or to be feared. Those who seek love are trapped by the need to maintain it. They must smile when they wish to strike. They must compromise when they should command. They become prisoners of their own reputation for kindness. But those who understand fear, who master it not as cruelty but as control, become free. They can act decisively, demand obedience, and command respect that outlasts affection. Love must be nourished daily. Fear sustains itself. When you are loved, your followers expect reward. When you are feared, they expect discipline. Love binds hearts, fear binds actions. A heart can change, but fear anchors the body, and in the end, power is not maintained by hearts. It is maintained by actions. Consider the father who is too gentle with his son. He believes that love alone will guide the boy to obedience. But the boy, sensing weakness, grows arrogant, ungrateful, and reckless. Now imagine the father who loves, yet demands respect, who punishes disobedience with firmness and justice. The son may fear his father's wrath, but he also learns discipline, loyalty, and restraint. The same is true for nations. People respect what they fear, they exploit what they love. You must also learn the art of appearing merciful while remaining dangerous. Let them see compassion, but let them feel consequence. A ruler who appears gentle yet possesses the power to strike instills the deepest kind of fear. The silent, invisible one. The people sleep peacefully not because they love you, but because they know what happens when they defy you. They call this peace. You call it control. Fear is not hatred. Hatred is the poison of power. It invites rebellion. The wise ruler keeps his punishment swift and justified, his threats silent but certain. He punishes few but makes the lesson known to all. He ensures that the fear of consequence outweighs the desire to challenge him. The truly powerful need not roar. They need only be remembered. In every court, every company, every kingdom, there will always be those who plot, who envy, who whisper in the dark. Love will not silence them. Love invites familiarity, and familiarity breeds boldness. Fear, however, keeps tongues still. Fear commands silence even in the hearts of traitors. That is the difference between a leader who is adored and a leader who endures. Men claim they despise fear, yet they are guided by it every hour of their lives. They obey laws because they fear punishment. They respect authority because they fear disorder. They worship gods because they fear judgment. Fear is the hidden architect of civilization itself. It maintains balance where love alone would crumble under the weight of selfish desire. If you would lead, you must learn not to fear fear. You must wield it with precision, like a surgeon's blade. Never reckless, never excessive, but always effective. Inspire just enough dread to ensure obedience, but not so much that it turns to hate. Let them believe you capable of mercy, but never of weakness. The man who is feared, but respected rules longer than the man who is loved but doubted. Those who love you may betray you in secret. Those who fear you will think twice. Those who love you may falter when hardship comes. Those who fear you will obey even when they despise you. And obedience, not affection, is the heartbeat of power. The truth is simple. Fear is the language that men understand when all others fail. It is the final argument in the debate for control. It is the invisible wall that keeps rebellion at bay, the unseen hand that steadies the throne when loyalty trembles. A wise ruler does not seek love to protect his reign. He ensures that, whether they love him or hate him, they dare not defy him. Because when the flames rise and loyalty burns away, when the crowd that once praised you begins to whisper, only one force remains between you and ruin: fear. People love to believe in morality. It comforts them. It gives them the illusion that the world is fair, that virtue is rewarded, and that evil will somehow destroy itself. But look around you. Do the kind always prosper? Do the honest always rise? No, the world does not bend to virtue. It bends to those who understand how to use virtue as a disguise. Morality, my friend, is not a law of nature. It is a performance, a costume worn by the clever to control the foolish. Men are not guided by their morals, they are guided by their interests. And yet, they wrap their ambitions in moral words, so that others may applaud their selfishness as if it were noble. When a ruler seizes power, he calls it liberation. When a soldier slaughters his enemies, he calls it duty. When a merchant exploits the poor, he calls it progress. Each act of greed or cruelty finds a mask to wear, and that mask is always morality. The wise understand this game. The fool plays by the rules, the wise man writes them. To survive, to lead, you must learn that morality is not your master. It is your servant. It exists to be used, shaped, and discarded as needed. If the people demand virtue, you will give them the image of virtue, not the burden of it. They do not care what you truly are. They care only for what you appear to be. Appear righteous, and they will follow you even into ruin. Most men are so simple, so easily deceived, that the one who lies with conviction is often more trusted than the one who tells the truth with hesitation. This is why great leaders are actors first and saints second. They understand that the world is not ruled by purity. It is ruled by perception. Morality is theater, and those who play their role well hold the power to move entire nations. You may think this cynical, but it is not. It is realistic. A ruler who clings to moral ideals when surrounded by wolves will not live to see his ideals fulfilled. To survive among liars, you must be a greater liar. To command the wicked, you must understand wickedness. Morality will not protect you from those who have none. You can either wield it as a shield of appearances, or be crushed beneath the boots of those who do. Understand this: morality was not created by the gods, it was created by the powerful. Every rule of good and evil was designed to serve someone's interest. The nobles told the peasants that humility was a virtue, because it kept them obedient. The priests declared that poverty was holy, because it made the poor easier to control. The weak called mercy divine, because they feared the strong. Every moral law has a hidden motive, and those who discover it are the only ones truly free. But remember, the appearance of morality is essential. The public loves the illusion of goodness. They need to believe that their leaders are righteous, even if those leaders lie, cheat, and manipulate behind closed doors. It is not your duty to be moral. It is your duty to appear moral. Your image must be spotless even when your hands are stained. The people forgive deception when it is done with grace, but they never forgive a ruler who confesses his sins. To rule effectively, you must lie beautifully. Do not mistake this for hypocrisy. It is strategy. Morality, when displayed wisely, is a tool of influence. When your enemies call you cruel, cloak your cruelty in justice. When you betray an ally, frame it as duty. When you seize power, claim it was destiny. The people do not search for truth. They search for stories that justify their comfort. Feed them those stories, and they will bless the hand that binds them. History remembers the victors as virtuous. It forgets their crimes because success redeems everything. The same act that would damn a weak man will glorify a powerful one. If you fail, they will call you a tyrant. If you succeed, they will call you a visionary. Morality bends to victory. It never resists it. That is why a wise ruler never worships morality. He commands it. The danger lies in believing your own performance. Many leaders begin by wearing the mask, only to become lost inside it. They start to believe their own lies, to mistake their illusion for truth. That is when they fall. The truly wise never forget that morality is a tool to be used, not a truth to be followed. They wield it with clarity, never sentiment. They know when to act noble and when to act necessary. The world rewards results, not intentions. The man who hesitates out of moral doubt loses to the one who acts decisively without it. When the choice arises between appearing good and doing good, choose to appear good. It is safer, it is stronger, and it fools the crowd every time. Appear merciful, but strike when needed. Speak of peace, but prepare for war. Praise honesty, but conceal your plans. The balance of power depends on how well you can perform virtue while practicing necessity. In the eyes of the people, morality is the proof of leadership. But in the heart of power, morality is only a convenient disguise. The wise ruler knows that good and evil are not opposites. They are instruments. Sometimes cruelty saves a nation. Sometimes deception prevents bloodshed. Sometimes betrayal preserves peace. What the ignorant call evil, the cunning call strategy. So understand this truth. Those who cling blindly to morality will always serve those who manipulate it. The ruler who seeks to be truly good will be devoured by those who only pretend to be. The leader who wishes to act purely will be undone by those who know purity is a weakness to be exploited. You cannot lead with clean hands in a world built on blood and lies. If you wish to rise above the crowd, learn to wear the mask better than anyone else. Let morality be the perfume that hides the scent of power. Let it draw them close, blind them to your ambition, and make them trust what they should fear. Morality should never restrain you. It should obey you. In the theater of power, survival is the only virtue that matters. You may speak of compassion, loyalty, or justice, But when the blade draws near, only one question remains: will you do what must be done? The world does not reward the kind, the merciful, or the hesitant. It rewards the ruthless, those willing to sacrifice sentiment for survival, reputation for results, and love for control. Look closely at history, and you will see that every throne was built upon the bones of hesitation. The rulers who fell were not always fools. Many were noble, many were just, but they were soft. They believed they could lead without cruelty. They believed that kindness could tame ambition, that mercy could appease the hungry and the envious. They believed wrong. Mercy unguarded becomes weakness, and in the eyes of rivals, weakness is an invitation. To survive, you must learn when to be cruel, and more importantly, when not to hesitate. Ruthlessness is not mindless violence. It is clarity. It is the ability to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. There will come a moment when sentiment begs you to stop, when pity whispers in your ear, when your conscience trembles under the weight of your decisions. In that moment, remember, hesitation costs more lives than firmness ever will. The ruler who cannot act decisively invites chaos. The leader who cannot punish invites betrayal. The one who cannot sacrifice what he loves will lose everything he governs. You must understand that survival is not noble. It is not pretty. It is not fair. It is brutal, and it demands that you embrace the parts of yourself that society tells you to repress. If you would endure, you must learn to shed illusions. Illusions of fairness, of loyalty, of eternal love. Those who cling to ideals are devoured by those who act without them. It is not cruelty that destroys men. It is indecision. The ruthless leader does not enjoy cruelty. He uses it as a surgeon uses a knife, without hesitation, without regret, and only as much as is needed. Excessive violence breeds revolt. Too little invites rebellion. The art lies in precision. A single decisive act of severity today prevents 100 smaller acts of treachery tomorrow. The weak believe that cruelty is evil. The wise understand that cruelty, when necessary, preserves order. Consider a ruler who discovers a plot against him. A kind heart might forgive, hoping to inspire gratitude. But gratitude fades faster than fear. The forgiven conspirator becomes a future threat, strengthened by your mercy. A ruthless ruler makes an example, swift, public, unforgettable. The conspirators vanish, and so does rebellion. Fear maintains peace where mercy fails. That is the paradox of survival. To preserve life, one must sometimes destroy. In every struggle for power, you will be tested by sentiment. You will face the choice between loyalty and necessity, between friendship and control. The weak will call you cruel for choosing the latter, but the graveyards of history are filled with leaders who valued friendship over foresight. To rule is to stand alone at times, to bear the burden of actions others cannot stomach. If you wish to survive, you must make peace with being feared, with being misunderstood, even hated, because those emotions keep you alive when love cannot. The world is not a court of justice. It is an arena of predators. The lion that spares the wolf for pity will starve when the wolf returns with his pack. The general who spares his enemy in battle will one day face him again on the field. The businessman who hesitates to strike his rival will one day kneel to him. Mercy without power is suicide disguised as virtue. Understand this. Ruthlessness is not the absence of morality. It is the mastery of it. It is the recognition that moral rules were written to protect the powerless from the powerful. If you would survive among wolves, you must learn to bare your teeth. There are moments when you must act without emotion, when compassion must be silenced for the sake of stability. People will not thank you for it, but they will live under the order you create. And that, in the end, is the highest form of leadership. The ruthless man does not kill without reason, but he does not flinch when killing is required. He does not lie for pleasure, but he does not hesitate when truth would destroy him. He does not betray easily, but he knows when loyalty becomes a liability. Ruthlessness is discipline, not madness. It is the iron that shapes the chaos of the world into something that can be ruled. Do not mistake softness for kindness. True kindness often demands strength. The strength to do what others cannot. The ruler who refuses to make hard choices for fear of appearing cruel condemns his people to greater suffering. The ruthless leader acts so that his people may survive, even if they curse his name. The applause of the crowd is worthless. Their obedience is priceless. To preserve a nation, a family, a legacy, you must be willing to be the villain in their story. Men will always admire mercy, but they will follow strength. They will call you cruel in public and seek your favor in secret. They will resent your firmness and rely on it all the same. Power belongs not to those who are loved, but to those who are obeyed. And obedience, true obedience, is born not from affection, but from fear of consequence. The ruthless understand this, and they do not apologize for it. In the game of power, hesitation is death, sentiment is weakness, and indecision is the quietest form of surrender. Survival belongs to those who see the world without illusion, who accept that every act of creation demands destruction, every moment of peace demands control, and every throne demands a price. Ruthlessness is the price of stability, and those unwilling to pay it will watch everything they built collapse into dust. So now you see, the world is not ruled by chance, nor by virtue, but by understanding. Those who grasp the darker truths of power command those who live in ignorance of them. You have learned that human nature is darker than we pretend, that fear preserves power more faithfully than love, that morality is but a mask worn to deceive, and that survival itself demands ruthlessness. These are not lessons of cruelty, they are lessons of clarity. The weak dream of how the world should be, the powerful see it as it is, and act accordingly. The ones who cling to ideals are consumed by them. The ones who wield ideals as tools bend the world to their will. This is the essence of Machiavellian wisdom, not to reject virtue, but to understand its limits, not to celebrate cruelty, but to recognize its necessity. You must decide which path to take, to live blinded by illusions of goodness and fairness, or to awaken, to see through the mask and use it when you must, to rule your nature or to be ruled by it. The choice is yours, because in the end, the world does not remember who was kind. It remembers who was victorious.